Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. In the world of watches, there's two types of depreciation. One is after a watch is purchased and it loses some value relative to its original retail. And then the second is more of a conceptual depreciation, where something that was once exquisite, rare, and exclusive, split-second chronographs, tourbillon regulators, perpetual calendars, become common as mass production overtakes them, serializes them, and makes them almost too available. That has never happened to this watch. So whereas it may be subject to the first kind of depreciation, whereby it costs a lot less money and is a great value, this minute repeating complication has never been mass produced and serialized. Not as a minute repeater, maybe a 5-minute or a quarter repeater, but this is the real deal, and so is the movement. Because back in 2009, when Harry Winston launched this series of 40 watches, clearly, it didn't have the savoir-faire to make something like this, so Harry Winston went to the best. Audemars Piguet Renoir Papi, and both the engineering and the decoration live up to that legend. And so this is a 2009 limited edition of 40 pieces, 20 in white gold, as you see it here, and then 20 were made in rose gold. This is a full set watch, and you can see that a lot of Harry Winston design language is present, but for a high complication made in the late 2000s, it's nowhere near as big as you would expect. It's 42 in diameter, 11.9 millimeters thick, 46.8 from lug to lug, with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and it wears beautifully. It doesn't exactly scream, "I'm a minute repeater," unless you get close enough to read the dial. It's flat enough that it'll easily fit under a cuff, and I can tell you with this lug-to-lug span, even a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference should be able to wear this. It's got a nice weight to it, though it's not onerous. You can see the strap is high quality. Large rectangular scale alligator leather, giving way to medium and small rectangular scale, high gloss, monotone stitch, black, sheer cut side, lacquered for refinement, calfskin on the bottom, no crimping, no gouging. You can see the strap on the opposite side, likewise beautifully preserved. We have a Harry Winston branded buckle with a combination of polish and satination. Friction fit, it has a snap closure. And you can see that the little tongue of the friction fit snap shut actually resembles the arches that you'll find on the remainder of the watch. You can see that the buckle itself features a faceted Harry Winston logo plate designed to look like the company's signature gems, as Harry Winston the man and Harry Winston the company are inextricably linked to trade in fine gemstones. The folding clasp providing you some insurance against accidentally dropping your watch while donning or removing it. We have serrations on the crown that make it easy to grip. You can see the arch motif adjacent to the crown, designed to look like the arches over Harry Winston's flagship New York store. This design language pioneered by, I believe it was Jean-Claude Guet, Emmanuel Guet's father, who was designing the first Harry Winston high horology watches in the late 80s, and this little motif is stuck with them. You can see it's a very simple case. Round, rather cylindrical. We have a repeater slide. You can see that we have a little bit of fluting to the lugs, which are, by all appearances, welded onto the case, a laborious way of making a case, but you could do it that way when you're making a total of 20 of these white gold cases. So lug welding appears to be present, a high-grade, laborious, artisanal way of building a case. We have a little bit of a step inboard from the case band to the bezel, which is conical and relatively shallow, and then a dial that features a lot of little nuances. You can see we've got sort of concentric rings at center. Then we have an anthracite sunburst radially brushed underneath the stylized and metallized Arabic numerals. We have very simple baton-style hands. We have that Harry Winston faceted gem-like logo again with a combination of sort of a tremblage and polish. And then you can see that we've got an outboard span that sort of echoes the design of the repeater gongs on the case back. So you can see it's almost like we're looking at the ripples radiating out from the concentric pattern at the center all the way out over this outer leg of the dial moving towards the repeater slide. You can see that we have a little bit of the underlying structure of the movement, sort of a base plate, if you will, that's been equipped with a circular stripe pattern. And then if you look carefully, you can see that the strikers are visible from the dial side. They feature polished H and W motifs, and that this bezel surrounding the strikers features satination on its top and then polished beveling on its sides. So what we'll do now is we'll fire this up so you can hear it. Quick note on minute repeaters. With minute repeaters, you don't want to pull the crown out when they're chiming, and you don't want to ask them to chime if the crown is out. The worst thing you can do with a minute repeater is attempt to set it while it's chiming. What we're going to try to do here is set it to 12:59, which should give us the longest strike. See if I get it. You'd rather be 1 minute short than 1 minute long and just hear 1 o'clock. We'll do that one more time. Now that the strike governor has stopped. And you'll also note that rather than visible dial side hardware fixing this little aperture in place, we have one of Harry Winston's signature brilliant cut diamonds. Again, reminding you that diamonds were the house specialty and were the specialty that beat the house, or I should say built the house. We also have right here a watch that's somehow 30 meters water resistant, number 20/20. It's a great serial number to have. And yes, that is correct, 30 meters water resistant. Now, that doesn't mean go swim with it, but what it does mean is you've got 30 meters more water resistant than most minute repeaters. Minute repeaters generally, in order to conduct sound, have no case seals. And so any amount of water on them can leach through into the case. And so having a watch that is a minute repeater that is nevertheless resistant to splashes or rain is still quite a big deal. You can also see on the reverse side that the strikers feature the H and the W, that we have a spectacular set of stripes on the underside of the dial, which look absolutely awesome, and the narrower stripes laid down by a abrasive wheel on this bridge here. You can see we've got a combination of raised relieved satin letters, jewels, Harry Winston, Swiss made, and then Media Blast below that. The beveling here is world-class, mirrored, genuinely hand-finished and rounded. And let's see how many interior angles we can count, because I think you're going to be surprised by how many are back here. So let's say we've got one here where bevels meet in a sharp crease right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then these little knuckles here, 9 and 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You might even argue that these exterior creased angles could be added to the tally, but I'm not going to get greedy. It's a great looking movement, genuinely awesome. Engine turning on the base plate, you can see one of the most striking features is that the balance bridge, and it is a full balance bridge with a free sprung balance over a 3 hertz balance, 34 joules, 38-hour manual wind power reserve. But if you look at this bridge, you can see it's mirror beveled on its side. It has at least 4 interior angles and maybe 6, depending on how you count them. It has satin brushing on its top, and then it has these recesses with Media Blast, so it is a triple finished bridge. You can also see that the screws are immaculately mirror polished on their heads, and then their slots and their circumference chamfered. You can also see that this entire surround framing the drivetrain features exquisite rounded beveling. It is beautifully done, and even the outer portion of this bridge, if you look on the periphery, it too has been mirrored. Just awesome that you could own this, not only for under $100,000, for under $70,000. You could see traditional polished wire-style gongs for the repeater. This is an awesome watch. You don't buy this watch because of its snob appeal. Even with a blue-chip brand like Harry Winston, which is now owned by Swatch, you're still talking about something that most people won't know at a glance. And that might be just fine. Wouldn't you rather enjoy your minute repeater with some degree of anonymity and not deal with the gawkers and potentially malign observation of third parties as you wear your watch in public? You can wear a minute repeater and no one will bother you. And the people who know what this is are going to be cool folks that you're going to want to meet. So, in a lot of ways, it's the perfect watch. It is both more depreciated than many, and in the sense that it is a minute repeater that defies mass production, it is less depreciated. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.